Hi, welcome to the Rotherham Youth Podcast. I'm here with former Rotherham United defender and Sheffield FC Manager Ryan Cresswell. Good to meet you, mate.
You too.
We'll be discussing several topics about mental health and we'll be asking him 11 quick-fire questions. So, quick-fire round. Who's the best player you've ever played with?
Played with John Parkin.
John Parkin. Who's the best player you've played against?
Louis Saha.
Alright. What's the best ground you've ever played at?
Wembley.
What's the worst ground you ever played at?
Oh wow. In the Football League, I don't want to discredit anyone or put a bad name to anyone, but Accrington Stanley were always a tough place to go because of the surroundings. But I had a bit of success there as a player, although I did get sent off once. But
What's your favourite food before a match?
Pasta, salmon, and a chicken. It's a little bit of a mixture, but that's what I used to have pre-match.
What's your pre-match superstitions?
Do you know what? I grew out of them. Yeah, I actually grew out of them. I used to just get both my ankles strapped and just get a rub on my hamstrings. That was just the usual match day prep.
Do you have any as a manager now?
Yeah, I think it's meditation to try and calm nerves, anxiety, the feeling of being out of control. Like obviously putting the trust over to the players. It's an awkward transition.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Tea or coffee?
First thing in the morning, coffee, but rest of the day, tea.
Favourite moment in football when you're playing in the game?
So Accrington Stanley away, my granddad passed 2 weeks before, and Ronnie Moore threw me back in my first game back. I scored the 90th minute winner with all the family in the stand. That was a very, very special moment that brings a smile to my face when I think back.
Brilliant. Favourite film?
Oh wow, Shawshank Redemption.
I like that one as well. I like. If you could meet one person in football, who would it be?
Oh wow. Player or manager, or just anyone?
Anyone. Or do one, player and a manager.
Manager, I'd like to shadow Pep for the day.
Yeah.
I just think,
What a man.
and I think Paul Warne also reminds me of him. I think.
Warniola.
Yeah, I think following Warney around, I'd need plenty of coffee for that for that day. And then player, if I could follow a player around, probably in the Premier League right now, hot property Haaland.
Yeah.
Just to see what his daily routine actually is and why he is so good.
What does mental health mean to you?
What does it mean?
Yeah.
I think it means that I try to have a positive mental health because I've felt the effects of a negative mental health, of the negative thoughts, the insanity of what negative thoughts can create, and I think that my mental health has suffered in recent times due to my own well-being. And I think that if you can create a positive environment, or if you can think positive no matter what situation you're going through, which is hard, and I know firsthand it's hard, but it does work. Slowly but surely your mental health becomes clearer. I think you have a cloud in your head when you're suffering with mental health. I certainly did. A cloud, tunnel vision, trees in the way. There were no clear path, and I think that just trying to be positive and it doesn't matter how small the positive step is. If it's getting out of bed and getting showered, that's a positive step. And I think that that's something that we don't know or hear people say too much about. I think we hear people say, go out for a run.
Yeah.
No, it's get out of bed and have a shower and brush your teeth.
It's the basics.
It's the basics that create that platform to then get dressed, to then walk out the door, to then walk, to then maybe go for a jog. I think that there's a lot of steps to get to that. Just go out for a run. which is quite a bit of a stigma that I hear a lot. But no, yeah, I think mental health is something that is that I have been through, and that I'm aware of it now more than what I was before I suffered with it. So yeah, that's what.
So as an academy graduate, how did you feel moving in from the academy to the first team? Did you get enough support, like mentally, like when you were jumping in?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the transition was, we used to do media days at the ground, and as a 16, 17-year-old sat in the media room with a camera in your face, and you've got 12 of your teammates laughing, staring, looking at you, that sets you up for moments like this, or moments like after a game, or just when you're in that spotlight immediately. You've got an answer, you know to calm. Like we said before, you feel them nerves, I feel them now. But it's how I get that across to you, where you don't think I'm nervous, when inside I really am. So the transition was really good on that side. Now the playing side of it was smooth for me, I feel. Training with the first team once a week or once every 2 weeks to twice every 2 weeks to twice a week to 3 times a week, and then just not on day before games. It were almost out of this world. I couldn't believe it. And the feeling that I had of fear was immense inside, but I just embraced it, worked hard, and had a smile on my face. As
a player with over 300 professional appearances, how do you prepare for a game mentally?
Good question. If you have worked hard Monday to Friday and you know that you've done everything to prepare right, then you're prepared. So the game is almost the feelings of fear of failure, messing up in front of the manager, your teammates, the fans. What drove me in games was the fear of failure. People might say, well, you were aggressive and you are 100% committed. Now that came natural, but inside I was full of fear. And that fear is what were burning in my stomach, which made me be the aggressor, which made me be wholehearted and put my head where it hurts and do all the other stuff. But how did I prepare? I prepared with doing things right Monday to Friday, and then I knew that I was prepared for Saturday. And that just kind of was my constant every week. That's how I tried to prepare myself.
Did you have them feelings on the pitch, or when you step on the pitch, was it all of them go away and it's just concentrating?
So what I said to the lads here, and to any team, is in the change room before a game, before you go out for the warm-up, I said, you know that feeling that you've got in your stomach, that nerves, you're playing a big game, you're playing in a game where you've got to win to stay in the league, and everyone's nervous and you can sense it. I know they're nervous because I can feel it, I'm nervous. What I say is, I make them aware that I know that they've got them feelings and I have the same feelings. So what will happen is, when you walk out for the warm-up and the music's on and you've got the nerves, in 10-15 minutes time, them nerves will have vanished. So just be prepared mentally and strong and be positive in your thinking, because there's no worse than seeing a good player go on the pitch and bottle it, purely because fear of failure. Now I have to be aware, and the club has to be aware, and spot which player that is, put an arm around him, reassure him, let him know if there's any issues, just talk to me. And I think we've got a good understanding here, especially with this group. We've definitely got that understanding, and that's something that I've added into my management, into my style.
Do you feel as though as a modern game is getting more competitive, the games are coming quick and fast, do you feel like there's more to help with the mental health side of it, like when you're playing 2-3 times a week? Is there more to help?
Yeah, I mean, here we have a psychologist that the players have got access to at any time that they need, and I do think that football clubs across the country are more inclined to have that facility available for players and staff, because staff get burnt out as well. I saw a photo, I go back to Warney, but I saw a photo of him at Gillingham last year, sat in the tunnel,
crying,
exhausted, mentally, physically exhausted. Now that's a photo that shows someone who's given it absolutely everything, every single day of that season. And that is what it does to management. It's what it does to players, it's what it does to fans.
Yeah.
And I do think that since I started playing full-time football to today, there's been a big improvement on mental health. Could they always be better? Yeah, because that's what we strive to be, better. We strive to be better every day. So to answer your question, yeah, I think there's support in place, and I'm sure in the not too distant future there'll be more.
Do you think mental health is talked about enough in the professional game?
I think it's talked about more.
Yeah.
I think enough is, it's an hard one, because you try and have a positive spin on a lot of things, and mental health is something that you need to be on top of.
Yeah.
And you can say that you're on top of it when you're not, and I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of saying I'm completely fine, I've got this under control, I'm fine. And inside I am absolutely burning. And I think that mental health is spoke about a lot, but we need to determine what help each individual actually needs more. I think we can have a specific area for specific areas, and I think that's something that we're learning as clubs, certainly as staff, learning that your mental health might be different to my mental health, and if I give you the same treatment as me, it might not work.
Yeah.
So it's something, it's not so much trial and error, because you can't afford to have an error, but you can certainly try things to certainly help the individual.
Do you feel clubs could help players and managers better with the mental health side?
So when I went into rehab the first time, and when I come out, when I went back to the club at Eastleigh, I had a back to work interview. I never heard of a back to work interview in my life. I never had to have an interview in my life. It would always meet a manager, have a medical and crack on.
Yeah.
I had a back to work interview, and I thought, wow, that was it great management, leadership, or were they just doing what their were they doing their contractual obligation? But they sat me down, they asked me questions, they asked me what would help me, what I needed, and I was just honest. I told them what I needed at the time. I told them what had helped, I told them what had not helped, and they were fully supportive of what I needed and what my decision was to be. So by me having that discussion with them club officials, I have that now in my toolbox to speak to my people if they've been off for numerous weeks, just how you doing,
yeah,
kind of chat. And that's something, again, from the first day of me playing full-time football to today, has got a lot more common. How you doing?
Yeah.
Not just, yeah, I'm all right, no, but how are you doing? And that, yeah, we're definitely developing that.
Great. So, final question. If you could tell 16-year-old Ryan Cresswell 3 things, what would you say and why?
I'd say enjoy every single day of it, because it happens really quick. Be aggressive, play with a smile on your face, and don't hold grudges.
Yeah.
And be thankful and appreciative and grateful for what you've got.
Thank you, Ryan Cresswell.
Thank you.
You've been a pleasure, mate.
Cheers.
And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.